Oi there! Seems you're here for one of two reasons, and that's either because you're on the fence about Star Citizen, or you saw a pretty little picture of space in the thumbnail and thought you'd investigate. Because guess what you've stumbled upon? The Damn Shame's introduction to the space simulation role-playing game Star Citizen, or SSRPG if you want something that's much, much easier to say. It's a game where you buy, arm, race, dogfight, repair, arm again, and absolutely tarnish starships in a first-person multiplayer persistent online universe. Now, don't rush off to download it just yet. It is currently in development, released as an alpha to backers who gain access to each new module of the game when the creators have them ready for players to test. Those creators just happen to be the Cloud Imperium Games team led by Chris Roberts of Wing Commander and Freelancer fame. And this game is fully backed by players like you and I to the tune of almost $110 million. Because Star Citizen is player-funded, Cloud Imperium can focus all of their time and energy on making the universe we all want to play in. If you're watching this, I'm guessing you're still considering whether or not to pledge. So why should you pledge now? If you like flying games, space simulators, FPS games, RPGs, and the ability to do whatever you want in a rich game world, this is for you. What's in the game today feels more substantial than most AAA titles that have released in the last year. Chris Roberts has an incredible track record with this kind of game, with Wing Commander, Freelancer, Starlancer, and now he's articulated his vision for Star Citizen, and it's clear that he's dedicated to giving you everything you could ever want in a space game. The game is going to be enormous. It's gorgeous. The sound design is phenomenal. And for when the nerd runs deep, you can get into the intricate systems for ship repair and upgrading methods. Speaking of the nerd, the detail they are giving to even the smallest aspects of the game is ridiculous. They wrote a biography on the damn snack company that stocks the vending machines on Port Olisar. The immersion in this world is going to be vast, yet open-ended, so you can make your own place in the universe. With the size and scope of the persistent universe, you will quite literally be able to do anything you want, have any occupation you can think of, in space, like with starships, interstellar travel, aliens, combat. Finally, in case you still need it, there's the greeters angle. Starting early actually gets you cool rewards and discounts on the game. Early backers got Star Citizen and Squadron 42 bundled together for a low price. Early purchases of ships came with lifetime insurance. There are still plenty of perks for backing early. Speaking of backing, let me go into what that means real quick, both for you and for Cloud Imperium. Before February 14th of 2016, backers could purchase game packages that came with Star Citizen and Squadron 42 when it releases, as well as a starter hangar, some in-game currency, and one of the two basic ships, either the Mustang Alpha or the Aurora MR. This package costs $45. Now Star Citizen and Squadron 42 can be purchased separately, but if you buy both, it's $60 now. When you buy, you play. No monthly fees, no pay-to-win gimmicks. You can subscribe for either $10 or $20 a month. You get a bunch of insider and early access to information about game development and special content, merch discounts, and one of two types of in-game currency, as well as some flair for your hangar. If you want to spend more of your real cashy money, you can buy more ships or purchase more in-game currency, but once you've made the initial pledge, you never have to give Cloud Imperium another dollar. Thankfully, there are daily cash caps in place to keep people with more cashy money than you from buying guaranteed victory. All ships will be available at launch for UEC earned in-game, and Chris Roberts stated that he thinks that after a few days, the line between those who bought ships as backers and who bought ships in-game will blur completely. Side note, if you want to get your friends into the game, you can buy them a ship endgame package and gift it to them. They'll just need to make their own account first. Meanwhile, Cloud Imperium takes your pledges and uses it to fund their development teams around the world, and turns it into UEC for you, which is the currency used to make permanent ship and weapon purchases. Through the simulation modes in-game, you can also earn REC, or Rental Equipment Currency. This lets you rent ships, weapons, and shields through the website to use for 7 days of playtime. At the end of those 7 days, you can renew these items at a discounted rate. This makes it ideal to test weapon loadouts with REC, and once you fall in love, make it a permanent fixture. Acquire ships, beef them up, build a fleet. Sounds amazing, right? If you're feeling like there's gotta be a catch, you aren't wrong. There are reasons why you might want to wait. The game is in alpha, and by alpha, I really mean alpha. It's frustrating sometimes. Really frustrating. It freezes, you get dropped from games, and servers go down. There are render glitches, graphical bugs, weapons and controls sometimes bug out, especially on newer ships. And here's a fun one, sometimes you just don't have ammo. If you can't handle the game sometimes not working, and by sometimes not working, I mean unplayable, then take a pass on it until retail release. It'll be better eventually, but the ships are cool now. You can buy or earn and fly for racing and interception, touring and exploration, police work and bounty hunting, trade and transport, dogfighting of course, and, if you care about this list, pause. Right! There are 13 ship manufacturers, each with their own style and history. The developers and designers for each manufacturer are located in different offices around the world, so each has a varied set of influences. For many, the beauty of Star Citizen will be forming a fleet. Ships' weaknesses are balanced and supported by the strengths of others. For example, maybe you're planning to run salvage or cargo. A large ship carries a lot, but moves slowly and may not be heavily armed. Pair it with a close-range support fighter or go crazy with a gunship to give you the security to defend your cargo, and employ a scout ship to watch for unwanted trouble. Combinations and fleet compositions are endless. And once you've chosen a ship, you can check it out in the hangar module, where you can walk around and look at your ships up close, customize your character's flight suit, modify and upgrade your ships. Right now, upgrading and modification is rather buggy and is going to be overhauled many times. But you can remove, replace, and repurpose parts on your ship, including weapons, ammo, shields, thrusters, and designs. You drag the items you own to the hard points on a ship and decide what you want. Guns that move like turrets, or guns in fixed position. Ballistics or lasers, you can really go nuts with parts of different sizes and power. If you're nervous about your flight skills, you can jump into the training simulator, but beware.
I've just enabled your targeting system. Use it to target me.
So you've acquired a ship and a game package, and optionally, you've taken your frustration out on your peripherals thanks to the training simulator. Now you can dive into one of the game modes. There's Arena Commander, where you can play solo, PvE, and PvP against the backdrop of 50% Broken Moon, 50% Dying Star, 100% asteroids. You can race your ship through a predetermined course that is really, really difficult. There are multiple course layouts that vary in difficulty from Heartache to Fires of Hell. You can capture the core if you can get someone else to come play with you. It's basically capture the flag. You can engage in a battle royale against tons of other players, where everyone's a target and you deal damage and explode as many players as you can in 20 minutes. You can fight off Alien Vandal with your fellow pilots, kill waves of drones, kill some bad bitch bosses, and repeat. It's satisfying as hell. You can have possibly the most fun you'll ever have in a flying game ever in Squadron Battle. This is a team versus team PvP, 20 minutes of madness and mayhem. Kills, damage, and deaths add and subtract points from your team, depending on who you hit and how hard. Highest score wins, and you rack up the wreck. More on that later. Or you can just float in space, even outside your ship. It's pretty cool. The persistent universe is what has me the most excited about Star Citizen. I saved it for last because it's limited to one system right now. But the star map on the RSI website is massive. There are 100 handmade planets to land on, fight over, trade goods across, and get into all sorts of trouble at. And then procedurally generated worlds to discover, land on, and name and claim. Procedural planet generation is bite the back of your hand beautiful. The possibilities for your virtual space career are endless, all while playing with your friends, guilds, organizations, and crew. You can have nearly any occupation you can imagine. Intergalactic peacekeeper, journalist, producer, mechanic, pirate, bounty hunter. I could go on, and you really should. Organizations get to make their own history, charter, and manifesto, and choose what their calling will be. Right now, you can go to a few locations in the persistent universe. In orbit of the planet Crusader is Port Olisar. This is where you'll spend most of your time. It's where you wake up when you load into the game or revive, and where you summon your ships to the landing bays. Testing for the first-person shooting is mostly done on Security Port Korea, where you can swap out your standard issue sidearm for an assault rifle. You can start missions to investigate distress beacons on the planet Yela at the ICC space station. Spoilers, you're attacked by pirates!
Bogey, scanning.
Mayday!
Scanning.
Mayday! We are under attack! Please help!
Shields charging. Target destroyed.
Thank you for helping me. Maybe someday I'll be able to return a favor.
You can take down pirates and vandal around various comm arrays and then EVA out again to reactivate the comm array. And after all that, you can repair, refuel, and reload your ship at the Cryastro Services docking station, which is free during the alpha. If you're more of a single-player type, Squadron 42 will be the game mode for you. It's the single-player or co-op story campaign that's fully voice-acted. The main characters are played and mocapped by Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, and Gillian Anderson, just to name a few. So you're a new pilot working your way up the ranks in the war against the Vandal attackers. After proving yourself, you join the 42nd Squadron and mayhem ensues. There's a lot more coming soon, and Chris Roberts promises at least 2 to 3 expansions. Then there's Star Marine, which is deeply in development. Today it mostly consists of wandering around and upgrading your sidearm to an assault rifle and shooting it in space. But hashtag 0GFPS for the win. And if that hashtag doesn't sum up why this game is and will be amazing, I don't know what does. Because sure, planets and starships are amazing, but there are a lot of space sims burning up the game market right now. Star Citizen is different. Star Citizen is going to be huge, and I mean that in every sense of the word. From those who want a story to enjoy alone, to those who want to explode the dogfighters of their global neighbors, there's something for everybody here. It's big enough for you to be a planet-discovering pirate, and detailed enough to grab a snack from the rich, historied vending machine. Star Citizen is a massive undertaking that is 100% backed by nearly 1.3 million people who will be playing the game. This is the independent model working on a grand scale, and it welcomes anyone with a modest sum of money to join in. If you want to be a smarmy pirate, an ace pilot for the UEE, a TV producer, or a hangar mechanic on a crime lord's pleasure barge, you can. This universe is big enough for the both of us.